Hello, Brooklyn. I thought I'd make you a video. I thought it might be more helpful for you because it's hard to learn by email, and I know you're stressed. And so please don't stress, okay? This is just a 15% exam. It can't affect your mark as much as you're thinking that it can. And so I'm sure you're fine to keep your 65. You already are at 65 on your term work, and I'm sure that you're going to be fine to keep your 65%. People are doing really well on the final exam so far. I had 5 people write it today, and the marks were really, really good. So please try not to stress, okay? Here's part D, and I'm just going to walk you through these questions and explain how to do them, okay? So we're flipping coins, and if it lands heads, we're calling that a success. And so the other would be a failure, which would be tails. And we're going to flip the coin 3 times. So the first thing you want to do here is just start by listing all of the possible outcomes of 3 flips of a coin. And there's 8 of them, right? So there's this one, and this one, and this one, and then tails, heads, tails, and then the same thing over here. And so if you list them all out, that's helpful just because you can sort of look at them to see which questions they're describing, and you can just count. So the probability of a success on the second flip just means that all we're doing is looking at the middle of all of these outcomes. We're only concerned with the second flip. We're looking for a success. A success is heads, and the 4 out of 8 of them are heads, so 4 out of 8 is 1 over 2. It's as simple as that. That's all it is, okay? So the probability of success is on the first 3 flips. I think that this means on the first of 3 flips. And unfortunately, I tried to edit it and switch it back into a Word doc so I could do that. And it won't let me. It just comes up all gobbledygook, and I'd have to retype the whole thing, and haven't obviously had time to do that. I've had emails just coming at me like bullets today. It's been crazy. So the probability of successes on the first of 3 flips, we're just looking at the first. And so obviously 4 are tails, 4 are heads. So again, we're at 4 out of 8, or 1 and 2. Okay. The probability that there will be exactly 3 successes in the experiment, so that's just tails, or sorry, heads are success. So heads, heads, heads. So that's 1 out of the 8 outcomes is a success, okay? That's all there is to those ones. So some of the other questions that you're going to be asked on the exam maybe to do with rolling dice or flipping coins, and they're all of this type, okay? So if you, one of the things that I'm including on the formula sheet is a chart with all 36 outcomes when you roll 2 dice to try to help you guys with the counting. So you just have to look at the chart and pick out the thing that they're describing in the question and just literally count how many fit that description, okay? So question 2, if we've got a success 75% of the time, then that's our P, which means Q is 0.25, right? And we have 10 people having the operation. So the probability the operation is successful in all 10 cases is just 10 choose 10. And then we want P, which is 0.75, to happen 10 times. So we put that to the exponent 10. And we want Q, which is the 0.25, to happen 0 times. And so if we work that out, I don't have a calculator here, but I think it's decimal 5 something. That's the probability that you want, okay? For 2B, what is the probability of at least one of the operations being unsuccessful? When you see something like that with at least one, what you want to do is first find the probability of 0, because that's the only other thing that could happen in that case, right? And then you're going to do is just go 1 minus that probability. And so for 0 of the operations to be successful, for 0 of the operations to be unsuccessful, that's what it says here, isn't it? then we already know the probability that 0 are unsuccessful, because that was the probability up here, wasn't it? We said all of them are successful, which means 0 are unsuccessful. So if that was like 0.563 or something, and I don't know that it is, I'll let you calculate that, then we just have to go 1 minus the 0.563, and that gives us the probability there. And then for the last question, for the arrow one, this is a z-score question, okay, because they're giving us a mean, and then they're giving us an actual measurement, and the dead giveaway that this is a, I'm sorry, that's not an actual measurement, that's a standard deviation. The dead giveaway that this is a z-score question is when you see standard deviation given in a question, you know you're finding a z-score then. So for 3A, what percent of the archer's shots will land more than 8 centimeters from the center? We're looking for px greater than 8. And so if they're asking for a range rather than a specific value, we're just going to go 8 minus 5, which is the mean, and divide by 2, which is the standard deviation. That gives us 3 over 2. And that is our z-score, okay? So that's our z-score. If you go to the z-score chart and you look up 1.5, so you would look up, like down this column, you would find 1, and then up here you would find the 0.5. Sorry, no, 1.5 here, and then here at 0, and then 0.1, 0.2, 0.01, 0.02, and so on. So the 1.5 should be a number right on the left-hand column of your chart, and all you have to do is read what that percentage is, and so that's your P. Now, the one thing that you'd have to change here is because it said more than 8 centimeters, here's our normal curve. So 8 is here. What they're actually asking for is this part of the graph. Each Z chart gives us this part of the graph. And so you'll have to go 1 minus whatever the z-score is from here. Sorry, 1 minus P from your chart for here to get the actual probability, because you want the right-hand side of the curve, and the chart gives you everything to the left. So for part B, what they're saying is it's going to hit the bullseye, and so it's 0 centimeters from the middle of the target, right, from the center of the target. And so if the mean is 5, then in this case we would do 0 minus 5, and I'm running out of room here, and we're going to divide that by 2, so you're going to get negative 5 over 2, or negative 2.5. And again, just go to your chart, find negative 2.5 on your Z chart. It'll give you a p-value on your chart, and that's going to be your probability that you land on exactly on the center of the target. Okay, so I hope that helps you. I've been trying to answer your emails as quickly as I can, and literally while we are talking in this 5 or 6 minutes, I've had, let me see how many more emails come in today. It's just been a little bit crazy with the, oh, there's another one from you. So it's just been a little bit crazy with all the emails coming in. So I'm trying to get back to you as fast as you can, because I know that you're stressed. Okay, so I'll send this one over to you now.